You changed your answer when you saw their face change. You rewrote the text 3 times before sending it. You wore the gray sweater because it offends nobody. You laughed at the joke even though you didn't get it. You ordered what they ordered to avoid being weird. You said you were fine with the plan you secretly hated. You checked who liked the post before deciding how you felt about it. You apologized for taking up the elevator. You agreed with the political take that wasn't yours. You changed your accent when you walked into the room. You bought a book to be seen reading it. You stayed at the party an extra hour so you wouldn't seem rude. You drove to a wedding you didn't want to attend because not going would cause talk. You kept the job because your parents bragged about it. You said you loved the gift, then quietly returned it. You wondered if your laugh sounded normal. You posted the vacation photo 3 times, with different captions. You bought the car based on what they would assume about you. You picked the restaurant for how it looks on the receipt. You memorized the right opinions about the right movies. You learned to nod at the philosopher you have never read. Your apartment is decorated for the dinner party you haven't thrown. You laughed at the boss's joke louder than anyone. You picked the major your father approved of. You said you ran a marathon, leaving out the time. You bought the watch because of who else wears it. You quote the podcast they quote at dinner. You smile in the photo even though you fought in the car. You wear the engagement ring picked for its size on camera. You work out for the mirror, not the strength. You curate the grocery cart at checkout in case someone sees. You let the silence end first, every time. You catch yourself rehearsing a story for how it will land. You notice you have never said no to your mother. You realize you don't know what you actually like in music. You see your friend post the same kind of post and feel sick. You wonder when you started checking the room before speaking. You watch yourself agree to plans you don't want. You can't remember if you actually like that show or just say you do. You hear your own voice and don't recognize the register. You see a stranger laugh wrong and feel something like envy. You write a sentence in your notes and delete it before anyone could see. You stand in your closet and wonder who you were buying clothes for. You catch your reflection lying. You scroll past someone unbothered and feel small for noticing. You realize the people you perform for don't actually think about you. You sit on the kitchen floor at midnight and ask who chose this furniture. You stare at your calendar and don't recognize the week. You wonder when you last did something only because you wanted to. You think about your job and feel nothing in particular. You ask yourself what you would do if no one would ever know. You realize your partner was chosen by your group, not by you. You wonder what your handwriting would look like if you had never been graded. You write a list of opinions you actually believe. It's shorter than you thought. You replay a fight and notice you defended a position that wasn't yours. You think about the apartment you didn't take because it was too quirky. You wonder why you never moved to the city you dream about. You ask if your hobbies are hobbies or props. You wonder what you would wear if no one was watching. You sit with the answer and don't run from it. You order what you actually want, not the safe one. Your hand shakes a little, but you finish the sentence. You leave the party at the hour you wanted to leave. You wear the loud shirt out for the first time. You say, "I don't know that movie," without inventing an excuse. You disagree out loud and your heart sprints, but no one dies. You skip the obligation and feel the strange, light feeling afterward. You tell your mother the thing you have been editing for 10 years. You delete the app for a week, and the world doesn't notice. You stop drinking at parties and lose 3 people, gain quiet. You write the thing and don't show anyone yet. You laugh too loud at a joke you actually find funny. You leave the email unsent for a day and rewrite it shorter. You don't explain yourself. You take a bad photo of yourself and don't delete it. You sit alone at the cafe and order what you want. You stop replying to the group chat that drains you. You quit the gym you joined to be the kind of person who goes. You give away the books you bought to seem smart. You unfollow the friend who makes you feel behind. You tell your father you're not going to law school. You sell the watch you bought to be noticed. You leave the job that paid you in status. You end the friendship that ran on competition. You stop pretending to like the wine. You stop laughing at jokes you don't find funny. You move to the smaller place because it actually fits. You cancel the membership nobody asks about. You let the haircut grow out. You say no without offering a reason. You return the suit you bought for an image. You unsave the apartments you were never going to want. You stop posting the runs you don't enjoy. You feel lighter walking past the mirror. You hear the criticism and consider it without flinching. You disagree with your boss in the meeting and your hands stay still. You wear the same jeans 3 days in a row and don't explain. You answer the question honestly the first time. You leave the conversation when you're done. You say, "I changed my mind," without apologizing. You eat alone at a restaurant and read your book. You decline the wedding invitation and write a real note. You let your face do what it does. You order what you want without a sidelong glance at the table. You don't perform interest in their hobby. You stop tracking who texted last. You walk into the room without checking who's there first. You say the unpopular thing because it's true. You stop fixing what didn't need fixing. You feel your own opinion settle in your chest. They mock the way you dress, and it lands like wind on glass. The colleague subtweets you, and you read it once and move on. Your sister calls you selfish, and you nod, then keep your plans. The comment section says you've changed, and you have. You're misquoted online, and you don't correct it. Someone tells you that you should smile more, and you don't. The relative says you've gained weight. You finish your sandwich. You're passed over for the promotion, and your sleep is the same. They laugh at the side project. You ship it anyway. The compliment lands the same way the criticism does. Softly, briefly. Your old friend says you've gotten too quiet, and you're not. The breakup gets framed as your fault, and you let the framing breathe. You read the bad review without rereading it. The exclusion happens, and you don't reach for the door. Your parents say they don't understand you, and you accept that. You sleep through the night. You wake without checking your phone for an hour. You move through the day according to your own weather, You speak when you have something to say, and not when you don't. Your relationships are smaller in number and larger in trust. You wear what feels like you, and the mirror just nods. You feel a real opinion form before anyone else has weighed in. You eat what you're hungry for. You don't audition for the room. You leave the gathering when it stops feeling alive. You apologize when you're wrong, not when you're inconvenient. You walk into rooms without scanning faces for permission. You buy the strange object because it makes you happy. You let the joke fall flat and don't rescue it. You don't explain your career to anyone. You take a long walk on a workday because you wanted to. You feel the difference between privacy and hiding. You sit in the silence after dinner and don't fill it. The judgment passes near you like wind past a tree. You hear the gossip about yourself and feel only mild curiosity. You see the bad photo of you and laugh. You say the unfashionable thing in the unfashionable room. You don't perform for the camera, ever. You give without keeping a list. You don't audit your reflection. It's just your face. You meet the famous person as an equal because there are no rungs. You wear the same clothes for 10 years because they work. You forget that you used to care. The party ends and you don't replay anything. You hear your name in a sentence with criticism and stay seated. Your house is decorated for you and only you. You eat your dinner alone on a Friday and it tastes excellent. You take the photo because you want to remember, not to post. You will die someday knowing you lived your own life. You move through the world like someone who came home before anyone else did.